Okay, here's another, welcome back to 1d8+1. Here's another rose color situation here. And in that type of sense, we're going to look at the rogue. And the rogue type thing is one of those things which is hard to see, much like a paladin, or people get confused on how to build a paladin. And both are pretty straightforward. Perspective-wise, without it, I can't think of a better means of not culturally being out of something, which is bad. And so in that type of sense, what you're looking at in a rogue is its ability to do everything. And if you're looking at their strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, you can get a used magic device for it. And that's always the key, is getting a used magic device first. But at the second time is, like, what class ability do they really work with 10 times or 20 times over up to 20th level that deals with Constitution? Not much of anything. They would have to get the used magic device for all the classes that work with Constitution, that type of sense. And they are better at being stalwart or steadfast in a Rock of Gibraltar sense than a knight ever could imagine. And that's really, it's that type of depth of analysis that you have to put to it before you stop saying that rogue is the everything of all AD&D. And I guess in that type of sense you can say that she is the all-Fluger type thing, which the rogue, Sharon Fluger was like some type of field hockey's coach in New Jersey, and she had like 1,030 competitions, and she only lost 9 of them, and drawed on 3. All the rest of them were wins. It might be 26 losses, but I don't think it was. I think it was 9. So in that, which is over, still 1,000 victories. So sometimes we joke around and say like, friends and group experience type thing. That's I guess that is a we. That it's the all Fluger, and nothing's that good. So it's just that. That's the same sentiment in that type of sense, or some type of basketball legendary or football legendary. Although some of those coaches, even though they've got things that we like the popularity, are only like 68 or 53% in the win. They're barely 3% over 500 with 50% wins and 50% losses type thing, or 0.500 wins and 0.500 losses type thing. So it's like that's like half and half type thing. It's not even 80-20, it's not 0.800 and then 0.200 in losses. But I digress. So in those type of things, you're looking at that, and the rogue does a lot of things in that type of sense with dexterity. It's got evasion, and it's got reflex, which has a dexterity modifier in it, and move silently high, it's got dexterity as a skill ability modifier on it. But really, they're not. Dexterity goes into ride, and there's not an extreme amount of ride capability for the rogue, and I guess there's not a lot of capability with that use magic device. I know there's some to initiate it. I can't say you'll get more ride capability than a Skylord or ride by attack and bonuses of a Cavalier and ride capability. But there's a use magic device that can probably create all the levels of Cavalier in one swoop type thing. I've never heard of it type thing. And Skylord's a mounted Cavalier, basically, because they ride like giant owls and things like that. And it's like a Pegasus rider or something like that. And it's not a Pegasus, though. It's in a Skylord. I think it's like the giant owl, which is related to elves type thing. And they ride the back of that, much like a Cavalier rides a horse type thing. And then they get ride bonuses. But I think that's shooting bonuses off of theirs instead of lance using. They get the same thing that a lance would have, but in their bow and arrow type thing. That's pretty impressive. But you have to look at those types of things without so much doubt. And in that type of doubt, it creates, or rose-colorness, it creates a perfect character and a perfect build towards abilities that you just don't need to consider. And that's not really the case. That's not the authority for what you're doing. Yes, there's a lot of people that have perfected a lot of things, I guess, if you want to call that perfection, in their AD&D build. But when it comes to you wanting to do yourself and to make yourself the authority in some ideal that you had, I don't really think that initiated authority. And that is the authority.